did you come to Loudxsa?
You know, I always fuck with y'all. It was always pretty good energy. It still is to this day. You know what I mean? I was walking around. I said, man, the crowd is different. And I like that. You know what I mean? You never know who going to be in this motherfucker. I was talking to some dude who was from Austin, and he was like, yeah, man, they've been reaching out to Houston, Dallas, Waco, all that, and they truly built up. And I said, man, if we going to keep it a buck, I said, 2 years ago, the scene looked completely different, and they the only motherfuckers that survived. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's really true. Now you're taking me back 3 years from now.
Yeah.
It's surprising on how a lot has changed within the past 3 years, and we have been keeping it up. But really, it's because of y'all. It's people like y'all coming in and believing in us and letting us provide a platform to, showcase y'all's art.
Yeah.
We have a lot of love and genuine to y'all. That's why we have the Get Love, Show Love. We didn't like how the culture was, oh, I'm just gonna stand back here and I'm be cool and maybe bob my head. We're like, nah, if you like it, come up, stand up top, network with me. I may want to feature with you.
And the crazy shit about it is, like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all spoiled the niggas. You know what I mean? Like, y'all spoiled me. Like, I went to other cities and I'm like, what the fuck wrong with these crowds? You know what I mean? I'm like, what? Where's the love? And I'm like, shit, it's a San Antonio thing, but more specifically, it's a Loud City thing. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all still doing what y'all doing.
Tell us what you have planned. Like, you've been rocking the scene, but not really being out in the scene. What is that?
You know, I used to do a lot of shows and all that, and it'd be good, and it would like build up my social interaction, my social presence in the real world. You know what I mean? But in the virtual world, social media and all that, it didn't always transfer over to streaming platforms. You know what I mean? And so what I realized is, this is good for one, you can learn and pick up new skills that can help your music elevate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like playing new shit for the crowds here shows how it's probably gonna hit on the platforms. You know what I mean? But I just kind of focus more so on my online presence, like constantly dropping. And we've seen the growth, you know what I mean? Like we said, the label was started, 3 years ago. I started my label about the same time y'all started. And from no Spotify followers to, I peaked at 29,000 before. You know what I mean? Right now we sitting like 18K, but we're gonna get back up there. You know, I'm planning on dropping 3 more EPs this year, 4 EPs in total, 1 for each season. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Right.
And really quickly, his label.
Oh yeah, Illustrate Records. You know what I mean? Illustrate Records. I ain't said that in a minute.
You're like, my label. I'm like, you give these people the name, the title, and get them to follow you, because man, this man has been popping. I remember so much. I think you came to my first community show. It was you and a photographer, and I was performing at Peacock Alley. And
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was such a touching thing for me, because like that was my first community show, and I only invited like maybe so many people because I was scared. I was a scared artist. No matter what y'all think or the confidence, like it was a new thing for me to be out here in the community.
Right.
And I know I didn't invite you personally, and you popped out either way. Even came and said hi, like, hey, I saw the flyer, I came to check you out, what's up? And I remember that, and just want to say thank you so much for being not only a good friend but part of this community, because I know you haven't only done that to me, but plenty of other people here. So you have a very good vibe when it comes to your name being brought up in the community.
Right. And that's, at the end of the day, I want legacy, you know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes we have this mindset that, I gotta sell like Drake to make it. Nah, bro, you can make it. Like success, you can measure your own success, you know what I mean? And it's like, I look at where I was and I look where I am and how my name is being spoken about in the community. I'm like, bro, that's success in itself, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you saying that.
Of course. Well, other than that, one last thing. What would you give advice to for somebody who is looking into getting into the artistry or coming out here, or even doing your process of not having to be out here and being able to produce something at home and still kind of shine light on your name? What advice would you want to give to these kind of societies?
Balance. I think balance is so crucial. Like we're in this world of hustle, hustle, hustle. And don't get me wrong, I'm one of them same niggas that be talking that
I was
hustle and
gonna say,
consistency
yeah,
shit. I'm the same dude to be saying that. But that I have such a fine balance. You know what I mean? Like I hustled for a good point to where now I can have this balance. So it's like you gotta know what you can sacrifice at what period of time so you can get where you wanna be. If you try to overload yourself, I've seen people work themselves into the ER. You know what I mean? Like their health
yeah,
took a toll because they just wasn't balancing shit. And so
right,
you got to find your particular balance and just stay consistent with your balance. You know what I mean? And as you progress, things will become easy because I mix and master my own shit. I just started to learn how to beat make now. You know what I mean? It's like
damn,
I wanted to do this 2 years ago, but I had to take some time. You know, I had to
right,
perfect my method and my this, that, and third, and also network. You know, Louis Hudson does all my photography and some of the videography because he be working with my man, Irrelevant Imaging. Those are two people I'm locked into when it comes to videos. And you see, I drop that damn
man.
near every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and they're fire in the community for sure.
Hell
They've
yeah.
done a couple of D's for sure. Diversity, by the way, I call them D's, diversity. But yeah, well, I love that advice. Thank you so much for sharing. Where can we find you at?
Yeah, so you can find me on all platforms at Defiant underscore Darius. That's DEFIANT underscore DARIUS. Girl, I did that in so long. I
One more
knew shit,
time.
yeah. It's DEFIANT underscore DARIUS.
Hey, well, you heard the
Yeah.
man. Follow us, Loud City Society, E.NAST.E at Loud by SA. Have a good night, guys.